Good evening, everybody. This is Model Railroad Addict, and it is January the 29th, 2013, and I got a little layout update video for you here you're about to watch. I've done a little bit to the layout. I've worked pretty much the last 3 weeks straight. Not much time off to work on it. By the time I get home, I'm just ready to crash out and get up and go to work again the next morning, so not much work gets done on the layout. I did have yesterday and today off, so I did get some work done. Actually, yesterday when I came down, layout didn't want to work. Track was dirty, I'm assuming. Engines were sputtering. These three engines were sputtering, and my other newest one, which I'll show you here in a minute, was sputtering. Stalling out all over the place. I took a couple hours, cleaned the track really good. Still had a little bit of sputtering going on, so I thought, okay, going to go ahead and add some more power feeders to the track. I think maybe I just wasn't getting enough power. I only had about 4 of them installed. I've got a 14 gauge bus line that runs underneath the layout. 22 gauge feeders I'm dropping down to it. So I went ahead and dropped another 10 feeders down, soldered them on the rails and dropped them down. So now I have 14 sets of feeders now supplying power to the track. And I still have my Indiana Railroad engine right here. Is still suffering with some issues of wanting to sputter a little bit. Not sure if it's a decoder or if it's the engine. I put it out on the DC track and it ran fine, so it's kind of telling me maybe I've got a decoder issue. Check, make sure it's plugged in all the way. It is. Still kind of getting some sputtering out of it, so I think I'm going to switch the decoder out on this on my CSX right here. I've got a Digitrax 1, 2, 3 in that, and it runs really smooth. TCS and the Indiana Railroad, so if I switch them out and the Indiana Railroad runs really smooth on that one, I'll have to probably get a hold of TCS about maybe getting a new decoder. Maybe the decoder's bad. The decoder in my SD70 Mac is a DH163. It runs good. I get a little bit of flickering of the headlight, but no stalling out on the engines. So I'm thinking that it was just the fact that a cross between dirty track and maybe not enough power. I put something up on Train Life earlier today about it, and a couple guys told me to clean the wheels, which I have not cleaned the wheels on these locomotives since I've gotten them. So I'm going to do that this weekend, get the wheels real cleaned up on it. Maybe that's aiding in their stalling around a little bit. But as for the layout, I did get the passing siding. We did finish that up, so you can see what it was like connecting tracks back there. We added a feeder right there, another one right here, not one there, and another one right here. So we got 3 feeders alone dropped on that passing siding, so it should be well powered. And then we installed a couple of ground throws, showed him how to put ground throws on, and they just typical ground throws here, just to switch the track around. And right here, another one right here. The only thing you got to remember is when you got ground throws on, if you come out of the yard and you go straight and it comes back around, if you don't throw this ground throw, that engine's going to derail. I got so used to just letting it come out. When it comes back around, it'll throw the switch itself, and I derailed my engine a couple times right there, forgetting to throw that ground throw today. So, got to remember to do that. He wanted to see how to put some grass down, so we kind of, as you see, my bench work's all painted brown anyway, and that's just so in case you see any bare spots, show through, maybe some weaker spots, but you don't really see any right here. Obviously right here I want to ballast this other side, so there's some brown showing there, but the rest of the way, not really a whole lot of brown showing. I'll put a ledge up here to kind of, so in case the engine does derail, it doesn't fall off or try to fall off and stuff. And plus I want to make that bridge with a railing down each side. So he got the idea on how to do that, and basically just we took a brush, took some of the glue, like Elmer's type glue. It's the Woodland Scenics foam track glue. Took a brush and spread it out across there real well. As you see, I got a brush there, and we just kind of sprinkled it around. As you see, I got some down on the floor there, and then put some of the Woodland Scenics scenic cement in that and sprayed her on, and she's down nice and tight. I'll have to go through the vac and suck up some of that ballast because he wanted to see how to ballast, so I started showing him how to ballast. This middle here was just recently done. This was done yesterday. I'm going to finish it down through here. I wanted a comparison of what the balancing looked like with the grass already down. There it's not. Here it will be. I want to see what the difference will be, how well it'll look with it down, so I can do it, maybe do it this way, if this way works better, or this way works better when I do my main layout when I get moved into my new house. So kind of using this for an experimental layout here, just trial and error for when I do my main layout. That's pretty much all it's been done to the layout since I've done it. I did get this little bench, little work thing in here. It used to be my workbench. Now it's just kind of under the layout. It's kind of holding my boxes for my freight car boxes there and there. And then I got my engine boxes there. Probably gave it away showing you my engine boxes. I did get a couple new engines here in the last month. I did get a new car. I got a Athearn Genesis Trinity hopper car, BNSF, and I'm not sure what else. I didn't have this. I may have had that exact rail gondola, and then a couple other 60-foot high cubers, 3 of them. I'm not sure if I had them or not. I need to go back and review it. But the other 2 purchases I made over the last month are these right here. This is an Athearn Genesis SD70 ACE BNSF paint, and this is an MTH SD70 ACE and Union Pacific. This happens to be one of the Heritage engines because of the cab number 8444, and every time you see the picture, if they got all the Heritage engines together, this one's always with them. So this is actually the first purchase I've made of the UP Heritage, which I want to get all of them. And so this is the first one. I was going to buy a Norfolk Southern SD70 M-2, but when I got up to the store, and the guy I go up there talk to all the time, Dave, got out of the display case, it was damaged. The rear ditch light, because the Norfolk Southern runs ditch lights front and rear on their M-2s, one of the rear ditch lights was broke off. Actually was totally not even connected to the locomotive, and the handrails were all messed up on the rear end. The very rear ditch light right in here, the rear ditch light that goes right there was broke off, and this handrails here are messed up, and the handrails here were messed up. Almost like the engine had been hit or something. We put it on a track he had a layout there, and we ran it, and it ran fine. The ditch light actually still worked. The LED light still worked in it, but it just, somebody took the time, probably wanted to put it back together, it probably would be okay. I'm not that advanced to do that yet. I was not about to buy. He's going to drop it down. He was going to take $25 off the price of the engine. And I didn't think that was the greatest. So I asked him, he had 2 other MTH engines there. This just happened to be one of them. He did have another BNSF one, but kind of between the MTH and the BNSF, I really wanted the MTH, or the Union Pacific and the BNSF. I like the Union Pacific better. Might have something to do with that big American flag on the side of it. But and plus it's a Heritage, and I do want the Heritage engine, so I figure I'll go ahead and get this one now, because I don't see this numbered engine out for sale very often. So I figure I might as well go ahead and get this engine now. That way I don't have to worry about it later. I can get the like the Caddy and the Southern Pacific and the Western Pacific and Chicago Northwestern and what are the other ones? Yep, the Mopoc and Western Pacific. I may have said that already. I don't know, but there's 6 of them. Plus I'll get the George Bush, so it'll be 8, and then this one, so that'll make a total of 8 of them that I'll end up getting. But they're good. For people that complain, oh, which one's better? And in my opinion, obviously I like them both because I got one of each. Athearn, I think, this is a newer generation Athearn. It does have the sealed speaker box in it already, so it is extremely loud. It is as loud as the MTH. I don't have the sound on it right now because the Athearn, obviously when you hit track power with a Tsunami in it, it just fires right up. If I want to, go ahead and just hit the F8, as you see us there, lights. The one thing that's nice, when you blow the horn, with the BNSF, they don't flash. And Athearn, you got that right. Now let me go with the MTH and start it up. It's got to go through a startup sequence. Which is nice. I really like that about the MTH, having a startup sequence, so I can start up and shut it down whenever I want, and it's not on whenever you just get track power. But As you can see, let me just get the locomotive moving here. Put it at 1 scale mile an hour, and it's moving. See, when you blow the horn on this one, ditch lights flash. And sorry to say, MTH, but Union Pacific does not have alternating ditch lights. I think CSX and Norfolk Southern are the only ones that do. So you kind of got that wrong, MTH. So that was a goof on their part, or maybe they just didn't care that they don't flash. Maybe they put them in because CSX and Norfolk Southern do flash. So hey, it's just easier just to have all of them flash or have none of them flash. But if you notice, all of MTH's O-gauge engines, all the ditch lights flash on all of them also. So I think that's just standard that MTH has all their ditch lights alternating. Where Athearn now is getting prototypical to each Pacific road name, which I think is really cool. The only other thing I don't really like about the Athearn is the incandescent light bulbs. The MTH, I'm sure you saw, had LEDs on it, much nicer looking. Athearn, not sure why, unless the only thing I can figure is they're contracted still through a company to do the incandescent bulbs, and they can't change them until the contract runs out or something like that. It's the only thing I can figure. Maybe eventually one day they will start putting LEDs in their engines like everybody else does. But, you know, there's no complaint, really major complaint to make you want to not buy one or the other. I can usually find the Athearn's a little cheaper than the MTH's. But, you know, anymore you're going to pay anywhere from $150 to $250 for one of these, depending on where you go. I think retail on them both $250. Like I said, I paid $150 for the BNSF, and I got this one today for $187. So, good price on both of them. You know, $187 for this. I had a 25% off coupon. That's why I got it for $187 when I bought it. It was $249.99, and I got it for $187 with the 20% off. And that one I got at a train show earlier this week in Indy, or earlier this month up in Indianapolis. I got it for $150 up in Indianapolis. So those are my two newest engine purchases, and really that's pretty much it. It's all being ran with my NCE power cab here. It's love this system. I want to thank Paul Coates right now on Train Life. Send me all the information on this NCE power cab, because he converted me from Digitrax to NCE. This is a super simple system to use. I'm going to get the 5 amp system, so it's where I don't have to have this. This is what powers it right now. There's the bus line goes right into the back of this. I'm going to get I think NCE just came out with the new, like an SB5A or something like that to replace the SB3A. And once I get that, I'll just end up putting, you know, ports around there, and I just plug in. I actually got a different cord I got to use to plug into this. And what I'll do is I'll just put this to like a programming track off the layout somewhere, and just use that with the power cab with this cord to like do programming off the layout. So that'll come when I go into the other house though. But the NCE power cab, awesome system. I've been using it now for about a month, and I have no complaints about it whatsoever at all. It is an outstanding system. Runs all the engines. I was running both these engines, and you know, they're both sound engines, and I actually had one of my non-sound engines running, so I was running 3 engines. 2 with sound, and they weren't struggling at all. Just about an hour before I shot this video. So I'm going to go ahead and leave it right here, and I'll probably get another video up this weekend. Maybe I'll do a running video of a couple of the engines running, pulling some freight or something. Not going to do it right now because I'm over 14 minutes already. I know some people kind of get bored of hearing me talk for 14 minutes. So until this weekend, I'll shoot another one. So y'all be happy, have fun, and I'll see you next time.